Today, I'm going to show you how easy it is to set up a new Linux distro, build a complete website project, and update with my Figma design, all with just 3 sentences in VS Code using GitHub Copilot and MCP on Windows. First, let's make sure we're set up correctly. For agents to connect to MCP servers, apps need explicit user permissions. In settings, you will see that I have already enabled WSL and Figma, so their MCP servers can be easily accessible to agents. Other apps remain in their disabled default state, putting me as a user in full control. Now that we're all set up, let's dive into VS Code and use my first 2 sentences. I have the VS Code open with GitHub Copilot, and this is also in the agent mode, as you can see. I'm using my first 2 sentences, and I'm asking GitHub Copilot, can you search for the latest version of Fedora in WSL and install it for me? Once it's installed, can you also set up a simple website project in Fedora using Node.js? I hit Enter, and Copilot here is trying to establish a secure connection with the WSL MCP server. And it gives me first of my several quick user consent prompts. I hit Accept and allow it to proceed. Behind the scenes, it's also trying to query the list of available online distros, finds that Fedora 42 is the latest version, and proceeds to install. This installation, as you can imagine, can take roughly about 2 to 3 minutes. So let's switch over to a device where this setup is complete. So on this device, I've got the environment set up. Let's scroll back up and see what steps it executed for me. As you can see, it's the exact same prompt. GitHub Copilot in the agent mode was smart enough to parse this multi-step request pretty seamlessly. It also queried the WSL online distro, set up the Fedora environment for me. It also installed the Node.js NPM directly inside Fedora using the DNF package manager. The best part here is it also knew how to run specific commands directly interacting with WSL on my device. That's pretty neat. Now let's go take a look at the simple website project it created for me. Well, this is a start. I'd like to take it one step farther and make it look like the design I've selected in my Figma. So here's my Figma desktop app, and here's the design I've selected, Penguin Pen Pals. So now I'm ready to go back to VS Code and use my third sentence. So I'm going to ask GitHub Copilot here, can you make my website look like the design I have selected in Figma and pull the design details and apply them to my project? But you can see the detailed prompt in the chat. Now I enter, and Copilot here, again, is establishing a secure connection with the Figma MCP server and asks for my consent to proceed, and I obviously accept. Before doing that, it queried the list of available servers in my MCP registry, found that Figma was the most relevant one to perform this task, and it proceeds to connect. Once connected, the agent pulls the design details directly from Figma, integrates them into my project, and updates the site's layout, design, style, and content accordingly. This could take roughly about 2 to 3 minutes. Let's switch over to another device where this final step is complete. So on this device, the whole setup is complete. On the left side, you will see the code changes it applied by pulling the design details from my Figma desktop app. Now it's the right time for us to go take a look at the website it created for me. Boom! This is exactly the design I selected in my Figma desktop app. It did all of this in just 3 sentences in a single chat interface. This is just one example of a developer-centric scenario I showed you today. Imagine what other incredible opportunities this can unlock for you, enhancing your productivity, all while remaining secure. This is the power of MCP on Windows: secure, agent-driven, and developer-first.